Hello everyone, I'm Lavender Kitty 03. I had an idea for a comic and thought to myself, how do I go about making a comic? Because I've never made one before. This is my first attempt. But to answer that question, that burning question on where and how and why, to get started and everything, I did some research and I put all that knowledge that I found out here in this video. When starting a comic, it is important to have a basic outline. This outline should include the actions, characters, and the dialogue that you want within your comic. Additionally, consider how many panels you want per page in your comic, or page, depending on if you're doing multiple pages or just one. Once you have a general outline in place, you can start putting characters, actions, and the dialogue under each panel. This is when you start to be able to put a little bit more of what you want and refine the actions and the dialogue to the characters and what you want. With this will help you stay organized and ensure that your comic follows a clear storyline that you have put in place. When it comes to creating a comic, there are several stages that need to be completed before the final product is ready for publication. Once you have finalized the script, the next crucial step is to create thumbnails for each panel. These are loose sketches that show the placement of characters, the setting they are in, and the dialogue bubbles. Creating thumbnails early on in the process is essential to avoid running into issues such as squished dialogue bubbles or not even having enough space for your dialogue bubbles later on. Additionally, creating thumbnails allow you to easily make changes and move things around before moving on to later stages of production, where changes become much more difficult to make. This is also the stage where you can experiment with different panel layouts and compositions to ensure that your comic is visually engaging. As you see here, there was a bit of a mistakes that I had made on my part. I did not have the right canvas size, which was a big bad no-no on me. Which the canvas size you should probably be working in most of the time is 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels with 300 dpi, just because that will make life so much easier. And then at first I tried to then take my character drawings and draw them big and then bring them down, but because it wasn't, the sizing of the canvas wasn't correct, it made it all kind of nasty and blurry, which was not what I was going for. So I just decided to change it, and then I just went into a program that I use for help called Makeup Pose to assist with having dynamic poses, because they're actual little character things. They have both female, male body types and a horse that you can kind of go through and make poses yourself and then port them with a transparent background to whatever you want, which is the program that I actually used for all of my poses to make sure that I was getting them all correct in the perspective that I needed them as well, which definitely was a big help and time saver. Once you have finished the thumbnail sketches according to your preferences, the next step is to start working on the cleanup sketches. During this phase, you will focus on refining the details and adding more depth, I air quote that, to the sketches. And basically all you're doing is cleaning it up and polishing it and making the piece a little bit more comprehensive to yourself for the line work. After completing the initial sketch, the next step in the process of creating a comic is to do the line art or line work. This can be done using a pen or ink, or an ink brush if you're digital. The objective of this stage is to simply ink your clean sketch. After the inking of all the lines is completed, the next step is to apply flat color to all the panels. This process helps to add depth and contrast to the panel, making it more visually appealing. Flat coloring involves filling in large areas of the panel with solid colors, without any shading or gradients. It is a crucial step in the comic book creation process as it lays out a foundation for the final coloring and finished touches. I also do want to state and put a disclaimer that you do not have to do this. If you want to do this in grayscale, that is completely fine. It is up to you. This is all subjective and what I have found for my process of making it and how I go about it. Now, to complete the comic, the final step involves rendering with lights, shading, gradients, all that fun stuff, and any finishing touches that you would like to add. This process brings out the details and enhances the overall look of the panels and the comic page while making it more visually appealing and attractive. Alrighty, and that's how you go about making a comic. I hope that this had been informative and helpful to you guys. And this is kind of just how I go about it. But if you do want to go ahead and see more of my fully rendered illustrations or the comic, go ahead and follow me at LavenderKitty03 on Tumblr, X or aka Twitter, Instagram, and I believe I also have a TikTok. Yes, I do. And also, recently I just started Twitch. And I go ahead and stream about 3 times a week every week. So if you wanted to see some of the stuff being made in real time and chatting with me, you can find me on Twitch at LavenderKitty03 as well. Alrighty, have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye!